Hey guys, what's up? Today we're discussing my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time. For those of you new to the channel, I normally discuss competitive Pokemon. I play in all of the new generation competitive Pokemon tiers. However, this video is just geared towards my personal favorite, drawing from all of my experiences in game and watching the movies, in playing competitively, etc. And I'm going to give a story behind why each Pokemon I list is my favorite. Before I get into the list, I just want to say a quick thank you to my boy Zahin. He basically said he's glad that I'm evolving a little bit and the channel's growing, and he thought it'd be a good idea to just discuss my top 10 Pokemon. Doesn't be competitive related, just my favorite mons for whatever reason. So, you know what? It got some support in the comments below, and I also feel like doing a bit more of a casual video could be really cool. And if this gets positive reception, I might even do more casual Pokemon videos in the future. So definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And on top of that, let me know your top 10 favorite Pokemon and why as well. I'm always interested in hearing everyone's stories and experiences, and I think it would be a really fun community building experience for all of us. So be sure to do that. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on into my list. So before I get going, I also want to say, in game, I only played through Black and White 2. I've actually played little bits and pieces of X and Y and ORAS. I never really got through them though. I don't have the newest technology in game. Unfortunately, I don't have a Switch, but it's still, I love playing in-game. My favorite in-game games are probably going to be Platinum and Heart Gold Soul Silver, although Emerald comes in close third after them. Gen 4 and Gen 3 in general are my favorite. However, the Pokemon I'm going to list at number 10 is actually a newer Pokemon, and it's Incineroar. For those of you who don't know, Incineroar is a dark and fire type starting Pokemon from a couple generations ago. It's really cool, and what I love about it is that the dual stab it has with fire and dark, it just gives it so many different threatening possibilities, be it on the physical side with Flare Blitz, Knockoff, or on the special side with moves like Overeat, which I believe it's using there, and Dark Pulse, which is really cool. On top of that, it has an amazing ability, Intimidate, that lets you lower the attack of opponents. In competitive Pokemon, it's really practical and helps it in lower tiers really well, but in-game, I also think it's a really devastating option that you can't go wrong with as well. It does have some vulnerabilities like the fighting type and the ground type and water attacks, etc., but I love the design of it. I mean, just look, it's a badass cat. Like, I've never seen a stronger cat in my life. It looks like it's also got the wrestling belt on. It's in the middle of the ring, as you can see from this GIF. So, yeah, all things considered, I think Incineroar is a really cool Pokemon, and I definitely love using it whenever I can, be it competitively or in other formats. And because of that, it cracks just the bottom of my top 10 list. Unfortunately, I don't have many big personal stories that I can go into much detail on, but overall, it's just always been a Pokemon I've clicked with. Number 9 is a bit more of a meme pick, but a Pokemon that I really appreciate nonetheless. When it came out, I always thought Gogoat was going to be like this cool, badass goat Pokemon that had a really funny design and story behind it, and it really has lived up to expectations. We see all of these like characters in the games riding it, and I just think that's a really funny kind of story behind it, if you will. Back when I first started, I just had all these Gogoat memes, and I registered names on Pokemon Online, which was the simulator competitive Pokemon was played on way back when your grandpa Finch was, playing competitive Pokemon, when a lot of you guys are probably a bit too young to play the game at that level and just followed the in-game lore. But regardless of if you played in-game or competitively, Gogoat is a really cool and fun Pokemon, and I definitely would recommend using it however you can. Unfortunately, it's not the most effective Pokemon competitively, but I think it does pretty decently in-game, and it just has some nice options. It's really physically defensive, and on top of that, with grass and normal attacks, can do a lot of damage. And I mean, just look at this thing. It just looks so kind of like half majestic, half just really funny. I don't think they have many Pokemon that are designed this great anymore. And admittedly, I'm actually pretty high on the newer games relative to the norm. People are like, oh wow, competitive Pokemon or regular Pokemon is kind of sold out and the designs aren't there. But now this is one of my favorite designs overall. I just think it's a really funny and cool Pokemon, and I'm definitely glad they came up with it. However, it's not quite as majestic and even potent as the Pokemon I have at number 8. A mythical Pokemon, and that is Zapdos, as you see with this electrifying GIF I have here. Zapdos is one of my favorite Pokemon. I used it all the way back in my first playthrough of Pokemon Fire Red, and honestly, it really saved my butt, because I was the kind of dude using the 4 Fire Move Charizard stuff. I was like 9 years old, picking my nose in my bed, just playing on my DS, and you flip the Fire Red cartridge in the Game Boy cartridge holder at the bottom, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna grind through this game, it's gonna be really easy. But nah, it was actually pretty hard for me. It was my second or third game all time, and I'm so glad that I got Zapdos at the Electric Tower, I believe they call it. No, sorry. It's basically, after you get the badges, you can get all of the the legendary birds. Crap, I forget the name of the tower. Oh my gosh, this is such a loss for me. please let me know the name of the tower that you get it at, the building. It's got like a maze, you can find electrodes, some of them boom into you and your wild Pokemon and they kill your Pokemon, which is really annoying. And it's only unlocked after a certain number of gyms later on in the game. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't remember it, but let me tell you, once I caught this Pokemon on like the 20th or the 30th Ultra Ball, I ran through, once I beat the 8th gym, I ran through the Elite Four with it. It just destroyed the Water Lorelei, and from there it was great. And then I also love competitively. Pressure and Static are amazing abilities, and it has such a great slew of offensive and defensive things it could do. Thunderbolt, and now it gets Hurricane, just so nice off of the high base special attack. However, the next Pokemon I'm going to discuss is an electric type, but it might be less effective as a strong Pokemon than Zapdos, but it's one of my favorite design Pokemon, and also I have even more of a story with it, and that's Luxray. So before I played Fire Red and got Zapdos and wherever it was that apparently I forgot, so my bad there, guys. Definitely a bit of a slip up, but anyway, before that, Luxray was the Pokemon that I used the second or third most in my first playthrough of Pokemon Pearl, which was my first game. I got it at the age of 8 or 9. It was in like second or third grade. I remember I got a DS. I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to try out Pokemon. And this thing was just such a badass in game. It had a lot of cool coverage moves. It hit really hard. And on top of that, it had a nice ability in Intimidate, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Might have been just a normal ability. But regardless of that, raising it up from Shinx all the way to Luxio, and then eventually Luxray. It was really cool. It did get a little less effective at the end of the game, but I just brute force leveled it all the way up to like level like 90 or 100 by the time I was done. I must have put in 200 or 300 hours in that game, and alongside Empoleon and Staraptor, hint, 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 Pokemon you might be seeing later on, this was like part of my big three. And we're not talking like the Miami Heat big three with LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. No. We're talking big three Pokemon. Nobody's beating these guys. Forget about the Spurs. No one is beating my big three. So yeah, I just think it was really cool. Using it, and actually I've used it a couple times competitively as well in tiers like PU. While it's not the fastest or strongest Pokemon, it still has a niche in the lower tiers, and I think that's really fun as well. It just looks like such a threatening electric type Pokemon for something that's small and not like a super legendary or anything like that, so definitely something I enjoy using as well. Next up, we're having another legendary Pokemon. I know including legendaries, Finch are so lame, but I could not go without including my boy Latios, one of my favorite Pokemon dating back to when I played Pokemon Emerald, when I got to see kind of the story behind all of the Generation 3 legendaries. And on top of that, I've also used it a ton competitively. For those of you who don't know, I love playing Generation 5, and in Generation 5, Overuse is the first generation when Latios was allowed in OU. And it was just really, really cool. For those of you that aren't super familiar with competitive Pokemon, because I know this is pandering to a new base, let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'd love to help you guys out and just give you little pointers. I'm always around to help people out. That's sort of my thing on this channel. I just love helping people. And I love enjoying talking Pokemon, so yeah, pretty much that. But regardless of that, Latios is just such an amazing design for such a Pokemon that's amazingly powerful and threatening. It also looks so cool, and the signature move it has, I know it's technically not the signature to it specifically, but the fact that it can just drop Dracos like none other, and for those of you that came from Joey's channel, PokeMD, you know the story of dropping Dracos. It's just so devastating, yet so cool. I love the mixture it has going for it, and also I just love the aesthetic of it a little bit more than Latias, perhaps being a bit partial because I'm a guy, but yeah, no, definitely love Latios. It's one of my favorite Pokemon for sure. But coming in next, we have another Pokemon from my Pokemon Pearl adventures in Staraptor. Again, Staraptor carried me through in game. In fact, it did even better than my starter Pokemon, Empoleon. I use it every single time I play Gen 4 in game, unless I'm doing a randomizer. And it's just so great because of that. I really love how strong it is with Close Combat and Brave Bird. On top of that, the ability to Intimidate gives it some decent semblance of bulk in game. Unfortunately, it has BL syndrome where it always gets banned from lower tiers, but it's not quite good enough to break OU via usage in competitive Pokemon, so I haven't really had many experiences with it there. But in-game, I think Staraptor is just the best early drought bird Pokemon there is, and I love using it every single time I get the opportunity to, so enjoy this gift of it beating the living, out of a meta champion, because why the hell not? Anyway, next up we have Keldeo, a Pokemon that I think has been really cool. It was released in Generation 5, and since then it's been one of my favorite water types. And let me tell you, there are countless water types, so it's in some pretty amazing company. In fact, we're going to be discussing a water type right after this as well. But before we do that, I just want to say, using Keldeo both competitively and in the games, it's just been really mad cool. So few things stop it, and it's so strong. And also, despite that, it doesn't really have many shortcomings. It's not very frail, and it has great speed, so it's able to outrun things and get kills off before they're able to kill it. And I just think that the story behind it is really amazing. one of those mythical Pokemon from Generation 5 alongside Tracheon, Cobalion, and Virizion. Those four I always really big fan of. I love where Generation 5 went from that. I think Generation 5 was flooded with a few too many rival battles, but I think in-game, the story was still pretty cool. Team Plasma and whatnot, and the extra stuff involving Keldeo and the other fighting trio members is just really intriguing to me. And Keldeo is definitely my favorite of that, and it comes in at number 4, so definitely very high up on my list. Next up, we have a Pokemon that might not be as good competitively in the OU scene since Generation 4, but it is a Pokemon that I quite like nonetheless. It is Empoleon, my original starting Pokemon from when I played Pearl for the first time, and honestly, just such a badass. I love this whole evolution line, in fact. Empoleon, Prinplup, and Piplup. In fact, I even have a Piplup plushie that I won down at the Jersey Shore when I was younger, shooting hoops at one of those little like stations where you had to make like a number of shots in like 30 seconds, and I think I ended up getting it in like a second or third try. I basically had paid for it by the time I got it, honestly, but it was so fun winning that. And I even brought it with me to college and all that, and even brought it to, I think I brought it to one of my Pokemon Club meetings, but I actually might be mistaken, but I know that other people at the Pokemon Club at my college actually brought plushies, and actually got a Gengar plushie when I graduated from the person who's the president, and that was an amazing experience for me. The Pokemon Club at my school was such a fun time. We talked competitively, did stuff on Showdown, we watched the movies, and we did a whole slew of other things. It was just an amazing, all-encompassing Pokemon experience, and that's the stuff I'm all about, guys, so that's really cool. But little tangent aside, Empoleon is really cool. It's so strong in the special end, and on top of that, it's also a really cool Pokemon as it has the water plus steel typing, which is just super unique. It has a lot of resistances while it also hits like a truck. That combination just is completely understated in my eyes, both in-game and competitively. But with that said, speaking, oh my god, I cannot talk. Ooh boy. With that said, on top of all these unique assets, one of Pokemon that is perhaps more unique than them all is Tyranitar. It's so cool, it's like the OG weather setter with the permanent weather ability of Sandstream, sending up Sandstorm throughout the entirety of battles that it came in Generation 3, 4, and 5, before weather got diminished a bit with it only being, just like setting it using the move, but with the ability. But still, regardless of Tyranitar, it's a great Pokemon. While competitively, it's actually seen many better days. It dropped all the way to UU this generation, which is crazy considering it's been one of the behemoths of competitive Pokemon. In-game, it's so cool, raising it all the way up, Larvitar, Pupitar, etc. It's just such a grind to get it all the way up. It requires a very high level to evolve. I remember finding one of the pre-evolved forms at Mount Silver and raising it all the way up until I could eventually use it to help beat Trainer Red at the end of Heart Gold Soul Silver, and I just think that was an amazing experience. I've also used it when I went all the way back and played Gold and Silver on an emulator many years ago, and I think that was a super fun experience as well. But yeah, Tyranitar is my second favorite Pokemon, and I just think it's a really cool design. But my favorite design and my favorite Pokemon to use of all time, without a doubt, the Pokemon that you see in my logo for my Discord server, which, by the way, definitely check out, guys, if you're interested in more Pokemon discussion on Discord, and also in the logo for my YouTube channel, is Garchomp. Garchomp is an absolute freak of nature. It is so strong, yet so fast and so bulky. It's my favorite pseudo-legendary, and since DPP and Sinnoh, my favorite game and region, it should not be any surprise to you guys. I remember being enamored by seeing Cynthia the first time in my second playthrough through the game in the little hidden cave that you need to choose Slash in and use your bike in to get through and maneuver through after the second gym after beating Gardenia. I remember finding a Gibble as quick as I could and grinding it up all the way to Garchomp level 48 to evolve it, and that was that. It was just so amazing to use and one of my favorite Pokemon. And as you see, it's just completely vicious. It's a land shark dragon. I mean, what more could you ask for? But yeah, these are my 10 favorite Pokemon of all time, guys. Let me know what your 10 favorite Pokemon of all time are. Let me know if you like more casual videos like this and any other feedback you have on my channel. And in addition to this, if you're looking to get into competitive Pokemon or just want to talk about Pokemon in general, definitely let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Comments are the way this channel stays alive, and it means the world to me that we have such an active and growing community. In addition to that, be sure to check out my Discord server. I'll be sure to leave a link to that in the description below. And finally, if you guys enjoy the content, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for all the support recently. We're getting closer and closer to 5,000 subs, so I'd love for someone to come around this video in the future when I'm at, like, say, 7 or 10 or even 15,000 subscribers. I'm like, wow, this channel is growing a lot. So let's make that happen, guys. That would mean the world to me. And your support makes my day every single day. But anyway, these are my favorite Pokemon of all time. Let me know what you guys have as your favorite Pokemon, and have a great day. All right, guys, this is Finch. Peace out.